everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips. I'm a writer, reader, and bunny mama. And today I wanted to share with you 4 different writing resources to inspire and help you on your writing journey. I think 5 is a better number for this kind of video, but honestly, I had 4 and I wasn't going to go around trying to find a 5th one to suggest that I hadn't really used myself. So you're getting 4, okay? Don't be greedy. Everything, of course, will be linked in the description. So let's go ahead and jump right into my 4 different resources for you. The first one I want to point out is the Bookends Literary Agency YouTube channel. This channel is so helpful and it's extremely unique. If you know of another channel like this, please let me know, but I find them absolutely fascinating. This channel is put out by the Bookends Literary Agency. They have a bunch of different agents there and they represent authors such as Helen Huang with the Kiss Quotient series and Trisha Levenseller, who's a YA fantasy author. They have a whole host of other authors that they represent, but those are 2 specifically that I personally have read and recognized. Their agency has a really wide range of books that they represent, everything from picture books for children to adult mysteries and thrillers. They represent literary fiction, nonfiction, romance novels, and pretty much any genre you can think of. They have authors that they represent with those types of books. They have 2 of their literary agents on the channel giving advice from a literary agent's point of view, which is super helpful if you're wanting to go the traditional publishing route. Even if you're wanting to go the indie route and self-publish, I think there's still a lot of valuable advice because a lot of times they talk about reader expectations, which a lot of times is the same whether you're traditionally publishing or self-publishing. Some of their video topics include mistakes made during querying, determining whether an agent is reputable or not, age when it comes to being published, improving your author website, social media tips for authors, what to do before querying, general writing tips, and even more. They've had the channel now for quite a while, and if you scroll back through, there's a slew of videos out there with a lot of really interesting topics that is even more interesting because it's coming directly from a literary agent with a lot of experience in the business. The second resource I want to point you to is the You Are Here writers over on Instagram. This is a really unique Instagram channel. I know some of you aren't on Instagram. Honestly, I would consider just making a profile so that you can access the IGTVs that they put out. They have so many topics that they cover. The account is pitched as mini workshops for writers. They have a whole bunch of different writers that they interview and cover different topics. These writers are from the self-publishing industry as well as the traditionally published industry, so there's a little something for everyone. Topics range from writing your first line to writing log lines and blurbs, fitting writing into a busy life, tips for doing historical research, revision tips, writing subtext, finding inspiration, how to handle rejection. There's a whole bunch of different things that applies to pretty much anyone in the writing industry. The videos tend to be relatively short. They're maybe 10 to 15 minutes long on average, which is about the same as I think a lot of YouTube videos are. So if you're looking for content like that, definitely go check them out. The third resource I want to point you toward is Adrian Young's Instagram profile. Adrian Young is the author of Fable and Namesake, which are 2 pretty popular YA books at the moment. And Adrian has a very calm personality. She's very chill. She's from California and she has that very like SoCal sort of chill everyone kind of persona. But there's 2 things about her profile in particular that I really enjoy. Number 1 is she very frequently will do Q&As with her readers and her audience, which I think is such a great opportunity to hear a perspective from a published author. Not all authors do that on their social media channels, which is completely fine, but she does, and she does them fairly frequently. So I love when those pop up and I can hear her responses to people's questions. She has a lot of insight into the traditional publishing industry, and she also has a lot of advice and perspective on being a full-time author. The other thing I really appreciate about her is she is not afraid to tackle heavy subjects or controversial subjects over on her stories especially. One of the things that she hit on recently was the big big controversy that's happening right now over on book Twitter. I don't know if you're over on Twitter. I really am not on Twitter all that often. I don't like Twitter. I know there's a huge section of the publishing industry that is on Twitter, and I just can't convince myself to dip my toe in those waters. It's not always very nice. But she did a lot of commentary on cancel culture when it comes to books and authors and how harmful that can be, which was really, really great to hear her speaking out on that kind of thing. Another thing that I think is a valuable takeaway from her in particular is that she has a really great separation between her public author life and her private family life. I know she has children. I think she has 3 or 4. I don't know. She very rarely talks about her children. When she does, it's usually like a passing reference. She's never shared pictures of her kids that I'm aware of, at least. She keeps that part of her life private. And, you know, there's a lot of authors that will share their kids or their daily life and things that have nothing to do with writing, and that's their choice. And for her, she has chosen to keep her private life private, and she shares mainly about writing and all that kind of thing on her Instagram. So if you're getting to a point where you're sort of worried, or you're wondering how you can keep some of your life private and not put everything out there, I think her platform is a great example of how to do that really well. And she doesn't compromise either. She's not like, here's just one pic every now and then. Like, I don't think she's ever shared pictures of her children. And I think that's great. You know, that's a personal decision that everyone needs to make when it comes to social media. And if you want to see an example of how she has done that, I think her profile is a good one to check out. The final resource I have for you is a book. I wouldn't call it a craft book necessarily. It's different than that, but it is Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg. This is more of a writing inspiration book, writing motivation book. I love this. I've had this book since college and I've read it a couple times, but it's the kind of book where it's easy to pick it up and just flip to a random page and read for a few pages and be like, wow, I really want to go write. She does have some practical writing tips in here, but I wouldn't call it a craft book. She's not telling you how to write your story. She's not going to talk about story structure. She's more about what is the message you want to send? What are you trying to say with your writing? So if you want to kind of get into that more abstract sort of writing stuff, this might be a great book for you to pick up. One of the other things that's great about this book is that the sections are very short. So if you don't have a lot of time to read a whole lot of stuff, this might be a great book for you. So there's most of the sections are, you know, like it starts here and it goes the next 2 pages and that's it. So it'd be a great book if you need a little something like to read before you go to bed at night, or if you need a little something to read in the morning. I find the way she talks about writing to be really encouraging and inspiring and motivational. So Writing Down the Bones by Natalie Goldberg is an excellent book to pick up, I think, for any writer in any genre, in any publishing industry, whatever. This is a great one to add to your collection. So I hope those will be helpful for you. I will link, of course, everything down below in the description. If there are any particular writing resources that you would like to share, also please leave a comment with those. I'd love to check them out or let them be there for other people to take away as well. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can find me over on Instagram at Meredith Phillips Writes, and you can also head over to my website, meredithphillips.com, to sign up for my newsletter. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye. Wait. Raise you up so I can think so what not. Okay, done is better than perfect. You feel me, my bro? Okay. So I hope those will be helpful.